Hi, this is Kathy with Faith and Food, and today we're talking about muscle pairings. Did you know that our God designed our bodies in such a glorious way that our muscles have a nice balance with one another? Let's take a look. So if you look at your bicep, when your bicep is contracted, it's shortened, so that muscle gets a little bit shorter. The complementary muscle is your triceps on the back. This one gets lengthened. As you extend your arm, this one gets lengthened and your triceps get shortened. Same thing goes with your chest and your upper back muscles, your rhomboids. As you reach forward, your chest muscles get shorter and contracted, and our back muscles get lengthened. And then when we move down our bodies, we look at our hip flexors. When we're sitting for a long period of time, our hip flexors are shortened, but when we stand up, they're lengthened. The glutes in the back, when you're sitting, these are nice and long, but when you're standing up, they're shortened. So that's the way God designed our bodies. Problem is, sometimes we get a little bit unbalanced because we live in a fallen world, right? So what happens is, a lot of times we'll sit at our desks for hours and hours and we'll be reaching for the keyboard. And as we reach for that keyboard, without knowing it, our chest muscles are shortened. And it's not like we're flexing our chest all day long while we're typing, but those muscles just stay in that shortened position for a long period of time. Meanwhile, your back is being lengthened as it's reaching forward. So these muscles tend to get shorter, and these muscles tend to get a lot longer and weaker. Same thing goes with our hip flexors. As we sit in our chairs, because our knees are bent, our hip flexors are shortened and our glute muscles are lengthened, and they stay that way. So as they're lengthened, they get a little bit weak, and the shortened muscles, they get tight. They also get a little weak too because they're just kind of stuck there. It's not like they're really working hard to engage, but they're there in that position for a long period of time. So there's 3 ways to help prevent muscle imbalances. First of all, we've got to focus on our posture. Your mom was right. So make sure that you're being intentional about how you're standing. We want to make sure that our shoulders are back and away from our ears, opening up that chest and shortening those back muscles just a little bit. When we're standing tall, we want to make sure that we're not off to one side or the other, but standing up tall, making sure those hip flexors are given a chance to lengthen and those glutes are getting a chance to engage. The second key to preventing muscle imbalances is in making sure that when you're doing your workouts, you include exercises that will strengthen those elongated muscles, those muscles that stay in that long, lengthened position all day long. So your triceps, your upper back muscles, your rhomboids, your hip flexors. You want to make sure to include some exercises that will make those muscles stronger. And then the third thing that we do that is key to preventing muscle imbalances is making sure that we lengthen and stretch out those muscles that stay contracted all day. So those bicep muscles, those chest muscles, and your glute muscles, we want to make sure that we stretch those out. We make sure that we open up our chest, that we stretch out our arms wide, and that we stretch out our glute muscles. Those are positions that we're not typically in all day, so we want to make sure that we include those stretching exercises. So those are your 3 ways to help prevent muscle imbalances.
Okay, then real quick, and in the following videos, I'm going to show you some of those exercises.
Okay.
Or something along those lines.
Okay. All right. And now in these following videos, we're going to show you some exercises that will help lengthen those hip flexors and strengthen those glutes. And they're nice and easy to do. So join me. So this is the Quadruped Bent-knee Hip Extension. So going to be on all 4s on a mat or on your carpet. You can always roll up the mat a little bit to protect your knees, or add a towel or a pillow underneath. You're going to make sure that your wrists are directly below your shoulders. Your knees are hip width apart. And you're going to flex your foot. Make sure that you engage that core. So we don't have a sway back, nor do we have an arched back, but we pull in that belly button, having a nice neutral spine. So we're gonna lift our foot, try to keep the motion just in the hip joint, stop when the leg is parallel with the ground, and back down. We wanna make sure that we stop, because if we lift too high, then we start engaging our back, and we don't want that. We just want our hip joint. So there's 2, 3, 4. We're gonna do 30 on each side. 6. Nice and slow, make sure you engage that glute up at the top. So you squeeze and back down. You don't have to rush these. Slow is much better than fast, because then you'll really engage that glute. All right. We're halfway there. Stick with me. Make sure you squeeze at the top. And squeeze. Stop when your leg is parallel. 6 more. Last 2, and 1. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So knees are again hip width. We're going to press that foot up towards the ceiling. Stop when your leg is parallel. And squeeze up at the top. Make sure you remember to bring that belly button in, keeping your core engaged the entire time. Squeeze at the top. Almost there, keep going. All right, halfway there, here we go. Make sure you squeeze at the top. Squeeze. Lengthening that hip flexor, squeezing that glute. Eight more. 4, 3, squeeze at the top, 2, and 1. Let's do our kneeling triplanar lunge to help lengthen those hip flexors and engage that glute. So we're going to start with our frontal plane of motion, which is our front half and our back half. So what we're going to do is, in the kneeling position, our knee is directly above the ankle. We're going to make sure throughout the exercise that we're engaging that core. Engage that core means pull that belly button in, and we're going to reach up with our opposite hand. This hand that's on the same side as the kneeling leg, is we're going to extend down to the ground. Make sure your belly button is pulled in, and then we're just going to reach, bend at the waist, reach over. We're going to hold for 15 seconds. So hold, hold. As you're doing this, make sure your glute is engaged in the back. Tighten that up. Hold, hold. 3, 2, 1. And release. Let's do it again. Here we go. Ready? Hand up. Other hand reaches down. Belly button is pulled in. And bend. Hold. Engage that glute. Make sure it's tight. Keep that belly button pulled in. Good job. Hold. Hold. Reach through those fingertips. Good job. Hold. And release. One more time on this side, and we'll move to our other side. Remember to keep that belly button pulled in. I know I say it a lot, I really do, but it's so important. We need to be intentional about our movement. So pull that belly button in, reach one hand over, other hand down. Reach through those fingertips and engage that glute in the back. Reach through those fingertips, just like you're reaching towards God. You want to reach, 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 and hold, 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 and release. Let's do our other side. So once again, kneeling position, knee over your ankle. Make sure you pull that belly button in. I know you're gonna hear it a lot. Sorry, but it's just a reminder. And I usually say it when I need the reminder because I start slacking too. So let's pull that in. Reach the opposite hand up. Other hand reaches down and bend. Reach through those fingertips. Hold. Engage that glute in the back. Tighten, tighten, tighten. Doesn't seem like you're doing much, but that glute is engaged, that hip flexor is extended, and release. Let's do that again. Here we go. Bring it in. You know what I'm going to tell you. All right, reach through those fingertips. Reach down to the ground. Bend at the waist and engage that glute and hold, 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 almost there. Reach through those fingertips and release. Last time, here we go. Reach up and reach through those fingertips. The top fingertips, they're reaching out, stretching out towards the sky, reaching, stretching out towards heaven, just like you'd be stretching out towards God. And reach down for the ground for the other ones. Start getting a little shaky because those little muscles are saying, what's happening to me? Ready and release. Good job. Next, we're going to do it in our next plane of motion, the sagittal plane. Sagittal plane is breaking our body from right half to left. So, other leg comes forward again, knee above the ankle. This one, you're going to want to make sure that you engage that glute. So you're going to engage, pull that belly button in. As soon as you pull that belly button in, your pelvis tucks under just a little bit. So you should feel that difference. That automatically extends these hip flexors and tightens that glute. So we're going to reach up with the opposite hand, thumb pointing behind you, other hand reaching down, and you're going to reach that thumb behind you. Make sure you engage that glute and hold, hold. Good job. Keep it tight. Keep it tight. Hold there. And release. We're going to do that one more time. Here we go. Ready? Reach up. Thumb points behind you. Tighten that glute. Make sure that you bring that belly button in. And hold. Hold as you extend behind you. You should feel that in your hip flexors. Tighten that glute. Make sure you're breathing. And also turn up those corners of your mouth because this is fun. We're engaging our muscles and release. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side. All right, other side, same thing. Knee over the ankle. We're going to reach back, thumb reaching to the wall behind you. Engage that glute, bring that belly button in, and reach, reach. It's not an extension all the way back, but just a reach behind you. And hold. Good job. Engage that glute. Make sure you're being intentional about your movement. Tighten it up. And relax. One more time. Here we go. Reach up. Thumb points behind you. Reach up. Engage that glute. Bring in that belly button. And hold it nice and tight. Nice and steady. You've got this. You're almost there. Hold, hold, and release. Good job. We've got one more plane of motion. That's our transverse plane. It's as if you had a pane of glass separating your top half from your bottom half. So we're going to start on our opposite side so you can see me a little bit closer, a little bit better this time. So we'll put our knee forward, just like before, right above the ankle. This time, make sure, once again, that we pull that belly button in, tucking that pelvis under. That automatically lengthens those hip flexors and tightens that glute. Automatically, just doing that. But we're going to add a little bit of our transverse plane by putting our hand behind our head. Other hand reaches out, and we're going to twist. Twist and hold. This is when it's easy for you to relax that belly button, so make sure it's pulled in. You've got to be intentional. God wants us to be intentional about what we do every day, whether it's just standing up or moving or our choices, we need to be intentional and release. So make sure you're intentional throughout your workout. Let's do it one more time. Ready? Hand comes back behind the ear, other hand extended down, tilting that pelvis under, tucking in that belly button, and turn. So important to be intentional, especially when it's just these small movements, because you've got to make sure that you're doing it right, otherwise it's not worth the effort. So make sure that your glute is engaged in the back, belly button's pulled in, that you're breathing deep, and release. We've got one more side and then we're all done. All right, other knee forward. Here we go. Let's put your knee over your ankle one last time. Hand behind your head, other hand reaches down. Make sure you've got that belly button pulled in, core's engaged. That tightens up your glute automatically, lengthening that hip flexor, and twist. Good job. Be intentional. Tighten that glute. Pull in that belly button. Breathe deep. Breathe deep. Thank God for all those little muscles that he made, because you can feel them. And then release. We've got one more and then we're done. So reach up, hand behind your head, tuck that pelvis under, bring that belly button in, and twist. Here we go. Hold it tight, hold it tight. Belly button pulled in, glutes engaged. Feel that lengthening of your hip flexors. Breathing deep, praising God for all he's done for you. Hold, hold, and release. Thanks for giving it a try with me.